welcome back to BellaVet. Today is a really exciting day because I'm about to leave for Scotland and I'm just really excited and a little bit nervous. I hope all my flights go to plan, but mostly excited. And I'll be going there for an oncology rotation at the University of Glasgow. And I'll be getting to see my friend Mina, who you guys will meet. And her and I, we met at Michigan State. We actually met at college orientation, so like first day, and we kind of hit it off from there. So she's so sweet, and I can't wait for you guys to meet her. And yeah, I'll bring you guys along for this whole crazy journey and show you guys all of the places that we go. So see you in a bit.
Hey guys, so I am in Glasgow now, and this is Mina. Hi! And we look a little rough because we had a very long day of flights, and the travel gods were with me, but they weren't with Mina. And she had every single trouble you can imagine, but we made it. We're at a burger place. We're really excited for food. Yeah, and so we'll update you guys a little bit later once we talk about it.
Yes.
Hey guys, so we are in Mina's apartment.
Hi.
and we're cooking dinner. We're making a big pasta bake so that we can both take it to school for lunches and things like that. So it's really fun. But yeah, so our first day went pretty well. We just went grocery shopping and had lunch and just kind of hung out. And I think we both needed that after being on planes the other day.
Most definitely.
Yeah, because I don't think we talked about it in the burger shot.
No.
You had everything go wrong.
Everything that could have gone wrong did.
You had what, a 6-hour layover or something?
8.5 hour. Oh. Well, so I had.
You were supposed to have that.
I was supposed to have an 8-ish hour layover in London Heathrow, and I ended up with no layover.
So your flight got delayed, and then you had to get on a different flight.
Yeah.
And then it ate up your entire layover, and then your bag got lost, which is coming tomorrow.
Yes, my bag should be coming tomorrow. Hopefully.
So it was just a lot, and then we were both a little jet lagged. I feel much better now.
Yes.
I'm hoping that
much better
goes, but yeah, so it's really fun, and I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. It's so nice to see you after so long.
Yeah, I know. It's been 3 years since we last saw each other, which was way too long. But then
far
again,
too long.
we're talking. We both have the perfect excuse for vet school's hard.
So hard and so busy.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it's really fun, and I start my rotation tomorrow. Hopefully. I still have missing some information on where to be and when, but
she'll be fine.
Yeah, so I'm I'm just gonna show up in the morning, early morning, and hope everything's good. So I'm gonna do that, and so I'll have the weekend, and then I'll have another week of my rotation, and then we've got a couple days to play around.
Yes.
So I think we're gonna explore Glasgow one day, this coming weekend, and then Edinburgh another day.
Yes.
And then we're going to go to the Isle of Cumbrae, which is where my great grandparents and their parents lived for a while, and that's kind of where my family on that side immigrated from. So I'm really excited to see
I think that'll be super fun.
Yeah.
I've never been there before.
Yeah,
so.
It'll be really cool, and there's old buildings that they lived in, and my great-great-grandfather was a pier master, and that building's still there, so I'm really excited to go see that. So yeah, but we'll keep you all updated and take you along, and I'll try to share as much vet related clinical stuff as I can, and
I hope you have a great time, and I think we'll have a great time.
Yeah, it'll be good.
It'll be good.
Can't wait, and I'll show you guys dinner once we're done.
Yes.
I just finished my first week of my oncology externship at the University of Glasgow, and yeah, I've had a really good week. It's been super fun, and everyone there is so nice. There's 2 other students on my rotation, and they're very sweet. And there's another vet visiting from Copenhagen, and she was also really nice. And then there's a few residents and like a head of the oncology department, and they're all very kind and were very nice when I didn't know where to go in the hospital or how to log into the patient software to write up my my soaps for the day. So yeah, they're all just really welcoming and understanding, which is nice. But I did see some cool cases this week that I thought I'd talk to you guys about. And obviously I can't really talk about the patient themselves, but I can talk about the kind of tumors that we saw and the kind of treatments that were given. And we saw one dog with it had a tumor that was surgically excised. I believe it was a mast cell tumor, and they were doing radiation therapy on it, and it had radiation therapy and finished its course, and it was in for a checkup. And it was just really cool because I don't know, I didn't expect like radiation therapy. It was on its arm, and the spot where the radiation beam had been was I guess scarred in a way, because it came back, the fur was not white before, and then it came back as this white chunk of fur. And so now it just has some really cool markings from radiation therapy, but that patient is expected to do very well, so that's good. And then we also had an interesting case that I hadn't seen before. Some of you may know that Cushing's disease, it's a disease of increased corticosteroids in the body, which is like your stress hormone. So it's kind of like having way too much stress hormone in your body, and it creates all sorts of problems. The dogs usually have hair loss, kind of like a rat tail, a distended abdomen, because they have a bit of muscle loss, and when you get muscle loss in your abdominal muscles, you get this big pot belly, and they're usually lethargic and want to eat everything and want to pee all the time and drink everything. And it's a really, it's an endocrine disease, but sometimes it can be caused by a tumor in the pituitary gland. And this dog had that and had Cushing's disease, but it was a tumor. Very rarely do they grow to be large. Usually it's a very, very small tumor in the pituitary gland, and so this one was growing larger and actually causing neurological abnormalities, which was very interesting to see. So that was an interesting case that I hadn't seen before. And we also saw, I also saw something called an infiltrative lipoma, and I'm sure many of you guys who own dogs know that lipomas are a pretty common tumor to get, and they're just like a fatty tumor. They're usually very benign. It's just like a little lump of fat, and they usually don't cause any issues, and they're typically only removed if someone really cares about, a cosmetic reason, or if they're in an area of like that can be traumatized by motion, like if they're in the armpit or someplace, or if it just gets very, very big. And this one on this dog was getting big, so that their primary vet removed it, and then it came back, and that's not very characteristic of a lipoma. And there's the cousin to the lipoma that is a liposarcoma, which is its malignant relative, which is very uncommon. And so at that point you're kind of like, okay, is this just a benign one where we didn't get all the cells, and even benign tumors still grow, so is it just coming back and it's not really a big deal, or is it something that is a bigger deal? So I believe we scheduled that patient for surgery, and we'll be looking into things a little bit more carefully when they take off this tumor to see if it is something more serious or not. But that was, again, something that I hadn't seen before, so it was really interesting. And yeah, so those were kind of the coolest cases that I had seen. And I thought I'd share them with you guys because I can't bring you into the hospital, so I thought I'd bring a little bit of hospital to you. But yeah, so I can't wait to show you guys what we're going to be doing this weekend. We're going to be going to Edinburgh, and then we're also going to spend a day and hang out and check out Glasgow a little bit. And then next week I'll give you guys another little update on what cases I see then. So see you guys soon. Hey guys, so today Mina and I are going to go to Edinburgh, and we're really excited, and we have a bunch of stuff on our to-do list. I believe first we're going to go to Holyrood House, and that is where Mary Queen of Scots used to live. And then we're going to hike up and go to Edinburgh Castle, and that is where my, I believe, great-grandfather lived when he was in the military there. And then we're going to go to a really cute spot called Victoria Street, and then probably dinner and head back. So we'll bring you guys along today, and yeah. So we have gone to Edinburgh Castle and Holyrood House and Victoria Street today, and now we're having a little bit of dinner, and we just went shopping and it was really fun, and I found a really cute skirt that I'll have to show you guys when we come back. But yeah, it's been a really fun day, and we'll take you along for the rest of it.
So Mina, what are we doing today?
Well, today we went out to lunch at, in my opinion, the best pizza place in Glasgow. And then we followed that up with some rockin' brownies and
so good.
Best soft serve ice cream. So good. And then we're wandering around the west end of Glasgow a little bit, but we're definitely incorporating the university, University of Glasgow, which is
all of this. Gorgeous.
Yes. And this is the west quad, and then over there is the east quad. And a little fact, back in there in those arches is where some scenes from Outlander were filmed.
Woohoo.
So that's super cool. Yeah, and just enjoying the day. Hope the sun comes out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I really can't complain too much because overall the weather's great.
Awesome. But yeah, we'll bring you guys along. Cool.
At our favorite little crepe place that we found, and we went out to dinner today because we've been doing Friday dinners. I picked the restaurant, and I regret my decision. It was so loud, and they were just blasting club music as we were trying to cook food. It's fine. And then we took the subway here, and so now we're going to chill out and see what we're gonna do for the rest of the weekend, make our plans, and yeah. Thought I would talk to you a little bit about the cases that I've seen this week, and yeah, so I saw some pretty cool stuff, one of which was this, like, actually I saw a couple oral tumors, and yeah, they're very interesting because it's such like a tight place to work with. It really narrows your options as for like treatment and radiation, things like that. And I got quizzed a lot about the most common tumors in the mouth of dogs, and they're typically melanoma, which can be pigmented or non-pigmented. There is squamous cell carcinoma, but that is more common in cats, and there's also fibrosarcomas, and those ones are frustrating because they're not really that malignant as far as spreading elsewhere in the body, but if you remove them once, they usually come back locally, and it's hard when you're dealing with something in the mouth. If you remove it and then it comes back and try to remove again, like you might have less and less tissue to deal with each time, which is frustrating. And then there's also something called an Emilia Blastoma, which is like a tooth, it arises from around the tooth, I guess. And that one's interesting because it can feel and look really bony, but then when you look at it, for example, there's one patient, we looked at it on an MRI, you could tell that the bone was just widening. It wasn't actually being infiltrated like an osteosarcoma, and you could tell that it was coming from around the tooth, and that the tooth itself was just sitting in tumor, and it was very loose, and yeah, so that one was really interesting. And what was recommended in that case was taking part of the jaw away, which surprisingly with dogs you can remove a pretty significant amount and they can still eat, and they just don't tend to to care that much. I mean, I'm sure they do in a way, but it doesn't stop them from doing some of their favorite stuff, which is really cool because that makes it an option, like a viable option for these people and for these animals. And then less commonly, there can be mast cell tumors in the mouth, which tend to be of a higher malignancy, because usually we see mast cell tumors in the skin, and there they can be anywhere from very benign to very malignant, but there's a bit more of a spread. And then in the mouth, they tend to be more malignant. And so because we had a case of an oral mast cell tumor, we also read up on a paper about oral mast cell tumors and saw kind of the statistics around that, and how they can be benefited from something called Neoadjuvant Therapy, which is a very fancy word for giving a dog chemo to shrink the tumor a little bit before going in for surgery. So, and that allows for better closure and possibly better recovery time and things like that. So, and then of course you'd continue chemo afterwards to hopefully get any microscopic disease or any disease that may have spread elsewhere in the body, but hasn't like set up a metastasis yet. But yeah, so that was another case that I saw. And another case that I hadn't seen before that I got to see on this rotation was a mammary carcinoma, and it's interesting because the statistics for it between dogs and cats are actually very different. In dogs, you've got about a 50-50 chance of that tumor being benign versus malignant, and with cats, it's more of like a 90-10% chance. So they're more likely to be malignant than benign. And so for this cat, it had its entire mammary strip on the affected side removed, and then they were going to wait for that to heal and then remove the other strip because they have like connections and intermingual vasculature and things like that. And so so it's best to remove both sides so that doesn't pop up elsewhere. And yeah, so I had just never seen that, or the way that it's treated and managed. But yeah, so that was another cool one that I got to see, and I hope that you guys like this little clinical update of the cases that I've seen. Comment down below if you want to see some more discussions like this, and I'll be happy to post them. But yeah, and It was another really good week at the University of Glasgow, and everyone again was very nice, and I was a little sad leaving everyone after my second week, but I'm also really excited to explore this weekend a little bit. And what we plan to do is go to Edinburgh again, and then we're going to go to the Isle of Arran, and after that we're going to go to the Isle of Cambrai, which is where my family originated from kind of before they emigrated to the States. So yeah, I'm excited to explore there and see what I can find, so I'll bring you guys along. Hey guys, so today we are going back to Edinburgh, and we're going to check out a couple other cool places. We're going to go to an art museum and Dean Village, and maybe things like the Giles Cathedral, and just things that we didn't quite get to last time. So I'll be sure to bring you guys along, and see you soon. Eating lots of desserts, which we're both jazzed about, but now we're going to go to Summerhall, which used to be the old vet school in Edinburgh, and yeah, so we'll show you guys around there.
So today we are going to Isle of Arran, which is just off the western coast of Scotland. We're going to take a ferry to get there. It's going to be great. And then once we're there, there's a couple cafes that I want to take Rachel to, and Arran Aromatics, which they do like hand soaps and lotions. It's really nice. And then I think we're going to try and head up the Arran Distillery, which I've never been there before, but I think that'll also be very fun. Hopefully it'll be clear today, so we can see goat fell and possibly the saddle. It's really, really pretty. Anyways, I think it'll be a great time. Yeah. Today on the Isle of Cambrai, and that is where my family kind of originated from before they immigrated to the States, to Canada, and then to the United States. So yeah, that's where we're going, and we're going to check out a bunch of different places, including what used to be like the Pier Masters building, and that's where my great-great-grandfather was the Pier Master, and now I believe it's been turned into a museum, and there's some other cute little places to see on the island. So yeah, that's where we're going, and right now we're on a train to Largs, where we'll take a very short ferry to the Isle of Cambrai. So we'll bring you along.